Hello, good people of the interwebs. This is the Bad Mini Painter, and there's a new Ork Codex coming out, and a new Ork model. So, I decided to do some Burna Boys, because they're fun. One major mistake, don't glue the weapons on. It will make a large area of the chest and gut on these guys unreachable by brush or in any way where else. So that was annoying, but it was on there and it was too late to do anything about it, and I realized it when I started applying the gut ripper flesh, which still is my favorite Citadel color. I feel like I achieved the same thing as doing 3 or 4 different kinds of green in order to do a decent orc flesh. Afterwards I go in with the Dubai Brown because my Morphang Brown decided to die in its pot. The glorious thing about the Citadel pots is that, as I'm sure you're aware of, they can be kind of hard to close. And sometimes, due to friction, the lid can just kind of pop off. So even though you thought you closed it as well as you could for blocked paint and all that good stuff, it turned out you didn't, and now you have a yellow. So that was lovely. My Abaddon Black still worked, however. And I used that for select parts of the gun, mainly the main body case, and it's not a gun, it's a flamethrower, and the tip. And it's still in this early stage of painting the model where you don't have to be overly careful, just don't hit the skin. And I love that part because I'm not good at being careful. I use Corvus Black for the gloves because I imagine they have some kind of flame retardant material kind of thing on. So the gloves and the pants for the same reason, I guess. So the thing for me with painting Ork models is that they really quickly become messy for me to look at. And I get kind of discouraged because I have a hard time imagining how this is going to look halfway decent at any point. I use dried bark only for the boots. Anywho, so because the models don't really have clear lines, everything quickly becomes kind of messy and blah while applying all the base colors. What I've also learned is that as soon as some shade goes on, it becomes a lot better. So hang in there. I use Hashnut Copper from Citadel for select parts on the flamers, on the tubing, and for the big gas barrel on the back of these guys. Normally I would use bright bronze, but I felt like I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and Hashnut Copper is a little bit darker, a little bit richer, a little bit warmer in the color, and I found that to be more suited for these orcs, since everything is going to be a little bit messy and a little bit grimy anyway. I mean, hygiene is not their first priority, I assume. I use Mephiston Red for the tubes on the flamers. And now we've reached the point where I don't want to mess things up, so I'm kind of careful with what I'm hitting and what I'm not hitting. Well, basically just careful what I'm hitting. The not hitting part is going quite well. I decided that for all the straps and fabric that seems to be tied around the guns and the angles of some of the models, to use Corax White, and then I will shade it to grime it up and bring out the details. And my current favorite shading is really good at that, having a white canvas. Iron Hand Steel for all the metal parts, and that's the little rivets around on their body. It's for the majority of the gun. Some of the straps are chains, so metal for that. just all the silver metal on the model. I give a layer of iron hand steel. And some people has commented that my brushes are beat up, and they are. But I tend to fall in love with a certain brush and then use it for way too long. But also I'm used to using it. It's nice in my hand, and yeah. So Screaming Skull for all the bones and their teeth. They have a bunch of horns and teeth hanging around on the models because they're weird like that. And yeah, Screaming Skull for those. And now Oiled Earth from Vallejo, my new favorite wash. And it is basically, it's kind of like Agrax Earthshade, only it's thinner. So you don't desaturate or dull everything down to an insane degree. You just kind of emphasize all the details, and it helps bringing out details. That's basically what it does. Besides adding some nice shade, and I put that everywhere except for on the skin. Now, since my army is Bad Moons, so I decided to use some yellow, and I could have used that Bad Moons yellow contrast from Citadel, but honestly, it's not that good. I don't like the end result, and I kind of regret spending £5 on it. Anywho, so Skulker yellow from Two Thin Coats, because that's an awesome yellow. And I do that for their helmets, face guards, whatever they have, and for select parts on their guns. Next I go in with Reichland Flesh Shade, and I shade it all down to make it look a little bit more dirty. And I don't use the Oiled Earth one for this, because I want something warmer and closer to a yellow. Again, to not desaturate the yellow color too much. Now it's time for some highlighting, and I decide to use Parasite Brown from Vallejo. And that's because my Scrag Brown from Citadel suffered the same fate as my Morfang Brown. So that one is gone too. It's lovely. At least they're cheap, right? Yellow Flame from Two Thin Coats to do some edge highlighting on the yellow parts. And again, when you're painting an army, don't spend too much time on this. You will never get it on the table. It's just, I decide to do small things that add a little bit of interest and show a bit of effort. Like this. For all the oxidization on the bronze parts, I decide to first give it a layer of Dark Reaper, heavily thinned down, so it's very runny. So I apply that, and then I let it settle nicely and let it dry completely. And then Citadel has a technical paint called Nahailak Oxide, probably. And I applied that to the center of the areas that I applied the Dark Reaper, as you can see on the very blurry footage. Maybe something better, like, no, still blurry. But so I leave a bit of the Dark Reaper visible and apply it in the center, and the end result is pretty cool. It's pretty cool looking. And this is the finished result. It could have been a lot worse. I know I say that often, but that's often also the truth. I can really destroy a model. Like, really. So, when I see a halfway decent result like this, my conclusion is that it could have been worse. And I especially like the oxidization on the gas tanks. I think that's a nice little detail thing. I want to do more of that. Anywho, so this is it. Like, the video is pretty much done now. You can skip or go to the next one. But before you do that, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And If you haven't subscribed and like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, please consider leaving a like. It makes me happy. It actually legitimately makes me happy to see a like on a video. It warms my little tiny heart. Hope you have an awesome day. Enjoy your orcs. Tell me what you think of the new codex in the comments. That would be cool. Also, algorithm. And I will see you soon for another upload. Bye.